Yes. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis Cocker, as usual. And with me tonight, I have Bomàye as co-host. It's Monday night. We have guests coming on. Bomàye is joining us in a minute. And I don't know, maybe someone else will show up. We don't know. It's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. So,
but we're not sitting on a bench. And I haven't asked you a question. Because life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That was a poor attempt by me. Very poor effort. And thank you. Thank you and good night. Actually, my lad says I run like Forrest Gump, but I go like that, like the $6 million man when he's in slow motion, because I'm not like actually moving. It's fucking disgraceful, really, isn't it? Disgraceful.
Stu, I have bad news. We have some technical issues. An error occurred on X. This usually is temporary. Wait a moment and try again. So we are not broadcasting on X. We are just broadcasting on YouTube tonight. So, well, it is what it is. We will have to see. Maybe it sorts itself out. I want to start by saying hello to everybody who's tuning in. We have Neil Driscoll. Big up, Neil Driscoll. It's good to see you. We have Danny B. Danny B coming in. It's a big up, Jarvis.
You're going to start singing Danny Boy then, weren't you? You was. Oh, Danny Boy.
Yes.
That's the way you said it.
That's the thing.
Oh, brilliant. Jarvis, you're on fire.
Trying to be funny without being funny, that's the dad's privilege, dad jokes.
Yeah, dad jokes are abysmal, absolutely abysmal. But it's absolutely right. Yeah.
Big up, Wolps. Good to see you. It's been a while. Good to see you in the chat. And Nathan Neely Lewis is coming in with some candy. He's expecting candy tonight. And Boxing Straight Talk. Big up, everyone. Big up, Boxing Straight Talk. Boxing Straight Talk. He's an old boxer. He lost this boxing thing, so he can learn you a thing or two about an uppercut and a hook and a, what do you call it? The jab, and move.
The jab, the body cross, the hook, the uppercut.
Yes.
You've got it all.
I know the lingo. I've seen Rocky a couple of times, and Rocky 2.
Yes, I said Rocky 2.
We have Trevor Wade in the house. Big up, Trevor. Comes in. Evening, Jarvis, Rory McIlroy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Cocker, and Stu, Tom Hanks, Wally. Hey. What an introduction. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes, I'm in a good mood. I hope you are in a good mood too. We lost the game yesterday, but come on, it's Man United. I'm not going to let it ruin my weekend or week. So it is what it is. But we can try to rip up the old wound and talk a little bit about Man United today. And maybe I will go to you, Stu, and maybe you can tell me a little bit about, now you have had the night sleeping on the game. And you said yesterday you were flabbergasted when you talked about the game, because you couldn't quite put your finger on what was wrong with this team. So have you been able to I don't know, analyze a little bit more? Where are you now on the game?
Exasperated this time. Exasperated today. I still, I've watched clips. I've been traveling today a lot, so I've watched some clips, and again, I just couldn't quite pinpoint the issues that we still seem to be having. And the player quality seems to be declining rather than increasing. And there's only really Bruno that stepped up to the plate the last few games with his goals and his assists it's actually given us some of these results that we've had. I mean, yesterday, irrespective, we had a result. We drew one apiece in normal time. We lost on penalties, but we had a result. If it wasn't the FA Cup, we would have drawn the match. We would have carried on this semi-impressive performance in terms of results, but not actual performances themselves. But ultimately, it was the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup, so I was quite saddened yesterday when we went out. I think I'm on record as saying my earliest memories after my live matches was Yeah, we are missing Ahmad. Yeah, boxing straight talk. You're right. Was the FA Cup, in 1979, and my favourite FA Cup goal of all time is Sammy McIlroy's. And so I just feel quite saddened, but then it turns to anger very quickly with me at this point in time, because I'm then looking at 3 or 4 or 5 articles about INEOS and what they're planning to do over the next period. You've got Amar completely on the rack now. I mean, the poor guy. He looks 50 years older. He's got Roy Keane Wayne Rooney publicly criticising him, saying he's living in dreamland about the league, etc., etc. Yet we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know what's happening around the club. And then you've got reports that he's actually come out and said he was lied to by INEOS. And now you really want to start strangling people again. And it brings me back to, don't condone violence, by the way, brings me back to that image a week or two ago where they got hold of Avram Glazer, and he kind of said, are you going to sell Manchester United? And his one answer was no. You just, you want to cut his tail off, don't you, and feed it to him down his throat. There's just something not inherently toxic anymore at Manchester United. I think we're teetering on disappearing as a football club because our identity has completely gone out the window. I think you look at Manchester United now, and you're looking through open glass to a greys field with nothing on it. There's just nothing there. There's no stand-up characters anymore. There's no will, there's no want, there's no fight. It's like the players are kind of like giving up. And I watch the players, they come out and they sign autographs. There's absolutely nothing in their tone, in their mannerisms, that allows you to think that they're actually disappointed as people, not just footballers, but people. And I saw a clip of Dallo. He met this, I think, woman who was shown in the crowd a couple of times, and he says, "Oh, you become famous," and he's signing autographs as if we're top of the league and fucking, in the Champions League final. We're not. We're just languishing in this pit of absolute despair, and I just feel that's where we are. And we're not sensationalist people, Jarvis, me and you. We just love football, and we talk football, and we love the tactical side of it. But I think we exhausted that side of our chat last night, and I just think we're yeah. Just the chat box again. Yeah, I just feel that we've lost all identity. I don't think you could walk through Old Trafford anymore and recognise it, and I find that really sad.
Yeah, I don't know, Stu, if you saw, but I put out a message today on the channel side on YouTube, where I wrote a little something.
Oh no, I haven't. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to see that. Sorry, yeah. I will look.
So guys, if you haven't, you can go and read it. But it's how I see the situation now with INEOS coming in, because I have some problems with the current situation. And I know we talked a lot about this last Monday, and it turned out to be quite a I don't know, negative show in a way, and I don't like negativity. But the situation is terrible right now, and I'm starting to doubt INEOS, like really doubt them. What's their intention? Because for me now it sounds more and more like they are into salvage the business side of the club, and that's it. And they don't care about the footballing side of the club. And for me, that's probably one of the toughest things, because it's the footballing side of the club that I care for, not the financial side. And now we have Omar Barada coming in, and he wasn't a footballing guy when he was in Manchester City. He was head of all the other clubs of the City group, and head of commercials, and head of finances, and all of this. So I think he was the right guy for the Glazers and for business people, but not for the footballing side. So I'm worried, Stu, for the future. If this is the Man United that we know. Have we lost the Man United that we know for now?
There is no club identity anymore. Absolutely. I think you're right about Barada. He's a businessman. Now, we've obviously brought in this guy from PSG to strengthen our financial worries. He's supposed to be an excellent closer. He's supposed to be very, very good at what he does. He needs to
start. Blanche?
No, the financial guy. Remind me in the tactical devilish tacticos chat, please, because I can't quite remember his name. But we brought in this guy, this financial wizard, who's excellent at doing that. We've got Christophe Vivel now on a long-term contract, and he'll be making waves. He'll probably be going after the players that he was wanting Manchester United to bring in.
A footballing guy, and the same as Wilcox.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 footballing guys at least. Yeah.
So, and you've got to have a fine balance between businessmen and football guys. You've got Brailsford. We don't exactly know what Brailsford is doing right now. It's never really been communicated. He's got this Project 21 or whatever.
I see Brailsford as like the evil, advisor on the shoulders of the king, like whispering into Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ear about everything and tells the truth about the situation.
Right. But he's got a lot of knowledge in in cycling. He's got a knowledge in how to get performance into athletes. So we'll see what happens in the close season. But I just feel ultimately right now, I feel quite sad. I've supported the club since I was 7. And I feel massively, massively sad that we are in this situation where we just don't seem to be coming out of this hole. And people are questioning Amarin. Is he the right guy? Is he the guy that we thought we were getting? Because obviously what he did with Braga and what he did with Sporting. But it took him a while at Sporting. It wasn't an overnight success, was it? It took him time to implement the system and get players in. He needs supporting in the summer. Have we got the money to support him in the summer? There's talk that we're getting rid of the offices in Mayfair. Fair enough. That doesn't bother me. They're going to relocate everyone to Manchester, or that's fine. Go ahead and do that. We don't need all of that. But at this point in time, we could rabbit and talk with no real outcome. There'll be no outcome. So he's not a football guy now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Sunday with the 1958. I'm right behind them. I want a peaceful protest, but we've got to start doing things. He does have a lot of doping knowledge, absolutely right. We've got to start doing things that's going to rock the Glazer boat. I don't know whether Ratcliffe, people are saying Ratcliffe hasn't done his due diligence. That's bullshit. That's just bollocks. You're not a billionaire just overnight. You don't become a billionaire by going out and robbing people. You become a billionaire by understanding business. So something's gone amiss and awry somewhere. Unless all this was in his plan to the Glazers, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. You lot in the States are going to get absolutely castigated for it. So prepared for a rough ride, because this is what we're doing, and maybe this is where we're going with it. But I don't
think it's maybe. I'm sure that this is where we're going.
But there's loads of questions outside of that, isn't there? What's happened to our world-class medical team? Why is all that disappeared all of a sudden? Why can't we keep any players fit anymore? You've got to understand that, and things of that nature. So there's a lot to unpick, but we're just never going to have the answers, mate.
No. Jale comes in and say it took Ruben 3 to 4 years at Sporting. So it's a long-term project, but I bet you he won't get 3 to 4 years at Man United. No. That's just the way.
Jarvis, I listened to a radio station today. We won't give him airtime, and they're asking a question: if he loses Thursday, has he got 2 games after that to save his job? I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, give it a rest, will you? Grow up. Why don't you try doing something original for once, rather than banging the same old pathetic drum? I don't want to hear about that, because what are we going to do? Who are you going to get in? If we fire him, who are you going to get in? What's he going to do? We had the same conversation with Eric Ten Hag, didn't we?
Southgate.
Yeah, I just think that's a lot of hot air.
Coming in with his vest and his tie, and
but we've had that. we've had that same conversation, haven't we, with Ten Hag? We had it with Mourinho, we had it with Ole, we had it with, not so much David Moyes, because everybody was raw then, wasn't they, after the success of Fergie? But then we had it again with Louis van Gaal. So you can go in, you can remove Amorim for what? For what? You've got to then restart again a new system that these players won't be bothered with, or can't be bothered to play. So then we've got to, new manager comes in. Well, I don't want him, and him, but I actually want him, and him. Well, hold on, we were going to sell him because Amorim, and all this kind of bullshit. You've got to stop. You've got to stop. And the only way to stop the rot is maybe to go down, maybe get relegated. But you've got to keep
starting to talk my kind of language. I've been saying this for a long time.
You've got to hold, and you've got to hold your nerve, and you've got to keep Amorim and say, right, you go to Amorim and say, right, mate, you're here for 5 years. Tough. I don't care where we are, but you are here for those 5 years. Do something within that period. It won't happen. We know that because of the money involved in it. It won't happen, but we've got to do something radical.
Yes, Stu. I just want to say hi to Bomàye coming in.
Good evening, gents.
Good to see you or hear you. Welcome. The voice.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having us on. Evening Tacticos.
Yeah, we're just calling
devilish Tacticos.
Devilish Tacticos.
Yes.
Hellish Tacticos at the moment.
It's terrible.
Yes. Bomàye, how's your day been? Are you what's is it Ramadan now?
Yeah, this is my second day of fasting. To be honest, I do fasting for 3 months. 2 months prior to Ramadan. That's like 3 years in a row. And I do it for both religious purposes on behalf of my dad, who himself, because of his ailments, couldn't always fast. But I do really enjoy the benefits of fasting from a physical point of view. I'm the type, my mind works really clear on an empty stomach. Yeah. It functions fast. If I eat especially bad stuff, I'm the type, I'll find a corner, I'm useless, put me there, end of story. So yeah, thank you for asking.
How do you say happy Ramadan, or do you use another word? Because I'm not familiar with all this language. Sorry about that, but
so Ramadan is Ramadan, and usually people will follow the word Ramadan with Ramadan Mubarak, meaning blessed, or Ramadan Kareem, and the word Kareem means may it be bountiful.
Okay.
May the whole, ultimately what you aim to achieve from Ramadan is self-restraint.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm glad it's going good with the fasting. Stu, yes.
Yeah, I've got a question, and forgive my naivety here, Bomàye. How does your body replenish what you need when you're not feeding it? Is that the best way to describe it? Forgive me if it's not.
No. Just ask however you want to ask. So I don't know. It's when you fast, Stu.
Yeah.
I generally eat less anyway during this next 29 to 30 days because your stomach tends to shrink. Your eyes and your mind is thinking, I'm going to eat this, I'm in the mood for that. But really, you start easy, you have a bowl of soup, and then you'll have a main meal. I like hearty foods, not so much fried and stuff like that, more soluble stews. With a poultry, a chicken, or a lamb, just hearty, good stuff, maybe with some rice. And that's pretty much it. And then you might have a bit of a sweet tooth, but water is important. Now, our fasting, there's no water, there's nothing allowed in this fast. And I cease eating yesterday in the AM at 5:24. I woke up at 5:20. I don't do anything when I don't eat anything. I like to drink water and that's it. And then you pray at approximately 6 o'clock. And then you're fasting for 12 hours. And at 6:10 today, we sat down, the family, we had some soup and a main meal. And your body is adaptable.
Right.
There are people that talk about fasting for 24 hours, 36 hours, a few days. It's a new fitness thing. And the whole idea of fasting is when you give your digestive system a break, yeah, and you're still moving, if you run out of sugar, the body starts to go for the fat. Now, fat is a really good fuel. But what also happens is there is a calmness about me personally in Ramadan when I'm not eating. And there's different thought processes start to come into your mind. For example, we're about to sit down as a family and, it's quite an abundant table. But you think, well, what if I had nothing to eat now and I had to fast for just another hour? When you've been fasting all day, you're looking forward to putting something in your belly, and somebody says, actually, we're going to delay it an hour. It's a nightmare. So that would be, a lot. Some people, I'm a grown man. Some kids will be going for a few days, not of choice, and you just start to think in different ways, like that. But the body can go for a long time without food. And the body is very, very adaptable. The thing that it needs most is water.
Yeah.
So
true. So true.
So you have to be careful what you're doing. Like forget the gym and stuff like that. You're just gonna get thirsty, and you have to wait to open.
But on this topic, we saw yesterday. We saw Mazraoui had a break. They stopped for him to have some water, I believe, and some sport
water, wasn't it? Yeah, or sport drink.
And he had something little to eat. But imagine being a footballer. You have to be drained of energy in this period, and he was on the pitch for 120 minutes. That was quite impressive.
I used to play fasting.
Do you think you perform better when you're fasting in a way? Is your body sharper? Because from a
it's very light.
Let's say from the Stone Age, when we didn't have any food and we had to hunt, to gather and hunt, when we hadn't eaten for weeks, days, we were sharpened. They were live or die.
Man,
so
look,
I think the body adapts.
I'm a light breakfast man. I'm not a lunch man. I enjoy my dinner.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
So do I. I'm a very light breakfast.
Yeah. So
and in fact, sorry, Bomàye, I'll only really eat breakfast the day of a game, the day of a match, so that I've got that extra energy.
Yeah. So yeah, I've noticed people are different. Some people get a bit of headaches if they're used to coffee. Some people, smoking is a problem. Some people get cranky because they do get hungry. But generally speaking, as you say, Jarvis, when I'm fasting, I'm very sharp at work. I have abundant energy, a lot of energy. I feel terrific. Actually, when I eat, it's actually a come down. So, we don't need anywhere near as much as we consume, to be honest with you.
But I think we could see that yesterday in Mazraoui's performance. I think a lot of people criticized him too much, but I believe he had a good game. And as a player, I think he performed well. But I think the biggest problem with Mazraoui yesterday was when we tried to play out on the left. We had Lindelöf there, especially in the second half, and he couldn't do anything with the ball. So he played it back to Maguire again. And Mazraoui had to drop down and help in the build-up. And he actually created a lot. And I was happy with his performance. And I think he gets the stick from certain fans because I don't think they see that he actually covers over others' efficiencies. Deficiencies.
Yeah. Well, maybe they should all be
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's too much.
We'll do a sample. We'll try the low first, see how that works out, and then maybe we'll make it a thing.
Trevor Wade comes in and says, sometimes your eyes are bigger than your belly.
Big time. And then that's followed with regret.
Yes. It's anyway for my age it is, I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yeah, man, it's bad.
I just want to. The topic of the evening is Garnacho, and he put out a Instagram message today, and the Instagram was this. I can share it for you, both of you, to see. And Garnacho, he's just say sorry, Man United fans, with the crying emoji. So for me, I think you can first of all interpret this as a way for Garnacho. Yes, he's sorry that the team lost against Fulham and we're out of the FA Cup. He's not happy with this performance. He had a couple of chances. Maybe he should have scored. Or maybe we could take it even further because we can connect it with the earlier Instagram messages that came out after the loss when Dorgu got the red card and Garnacho was subbed, maybe saying sorry to the fans. So I will hand it to you guys to interpret it how you like. So Stu, maybe you can go first. How do you see this message from Garnacho?
I wish players would stay off social media, actually. I'd rather the old-fashioned, old-spoken way of communication. If you've got something to say, come out and say it. You could always get hold of a journalist anytime, just like that. You can get hold of the BBC, you can get hold of Talk Sport, you can get hold of wherever, ITV, whoever, it doesn't really matter. You can Sky Sports, you can get hold of a journalist. And I would like MySpace, yeah, I remember that as well. But I would like players to tell social media. Social media currently is, I think social media at times, as controversial as it can be, is so toxic, so toxic. You've got people desperately trying for their 15 minutes of fame, and they'll go to the depths of what we would consider vile at times to do this. Footballers are different, football. When you're a young child, when you're 8 or 9, it's hugely exciting. I remember writing to Gary Bailey as an 8-year-old and waiting about 6 weeks for his little signed picture to come through the post, and it was the best thing I'd had, that week. I was terribly excited, but they've replaced that now by going and standing outside Carrington, and for multimillionaires to sit in their car, not even actually get out of their car to sign shin pads or to sign pictures and things of that nature, but they have that responsibility to people that are outside of Carrington. Garnacho, and there are certain players that use social media to their benefit, and that's all it is. It's to their benefit rather than actually putting a message of warmth. That's not a message of warmth. It's, oh, sorry, lads. Now, in the modern day, in every day of your walk of life, Jarvis, somebody comes and treads on your toe, he turns around and says sorry, you could probably say that's genuine. But if he comes in and punches you in the cheek and then says sorry, it's full of shit. So, sorry is a double-edged sword. It's a double meaning. It can mean however you want. You can take it however you want. He's a young lad. He's clearly, I think, at times being badly advised. You've got other players, and we've had it ever since the birth of social media, when players really seem to come out with it, really embrace social media. They're not understanding what a message is. You can go far as to say, text message him. You could be quite blunt on your text message, but actually the tone isn't blunt, but you read it as being blunt. And that's what it is. If you don't hear the spoken word, you don't hear any sincerity in there. Even if he was just monotone by what he was saying, at least you could get an idea of what you think he's feeling. So that little message doesn't mean anything. So it could well be that the club have said to him, put some out on social media. I doubt it, but you never know. It could well be that his team, his brothers, turned around and said, look, you got a lot of flack the other night when he went off, and people didn't kind of understand what was happening. do something just to placate the fans. It's not about placating the fans now. That's gone. That ship sailed months ago, years ago, with these players, or a lot of these players. We don't want to see players placate the fans. So if you're not going to give it the spoken words, you're not going to come out, physically speak through MUTV, through whoever, don't do it through social media. And there are some great players who've had their social media statements twisted to the narrative that is Sky Sports or Talk Radio or whoever. And you've got to avoid that. You've got to stop that. You've got to not let that happen. The attitude that fans have got towards Garnacho has manifested for a while now. There's been a deep kind of, sorry about this, Bomàye, but stomach rumbling, where people are either with him or they're against him. There's no kind of split with Garnacho. There's no in the middle. Same with other particular players. So for me, just come out, have the balls, hold your hands up, made a mistake or whatever, but come out and say it rather than put it through social media. So you can always hide behind social media, Jarvis.
Yeah. Bomàye, are you there?
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on this? Because Stu made a lot of good points and touched on a lot of things. But when you communicate with the fans, shouldn't you just be able to use social media as a player? And another thing, aren't we sick of players apologizing on social media again and again? You know, it's terrible. It's terrible time after time, and they come up, I'm sorry. So after a while, I don't care. Show it on the pitch. So
I think the advent of social media, ironically, was to give more access to the people you see on television. But I think the culture in which we live, we've made gods out of these people. And you actually have less substantive reach to them, because most of these pages, somebody's running it for you. I have friends who work with some very high profile athletes, and they run their social media because they're useless or they're not really interested, even some of them. So in terms of reach and access, it used to be much more, they were more accessible before. With this one, when I first saw it, I think Stu makes some really pertinent points from a cultural perspective, from from a man's perspective, in the sense that come out and say it, man. What do you mean? But the world in which we live and the culture in which we live now, this is the mode of communication. By and large, you can solve your problems at a distance. And everybody, the whole world now is on social media, especially the younger generation. So from that point of view, I'll give it a pass. I looked at it and I think like this about this one. I like things about Garnacho, and there's things that I don't like. What I don't like is the petulance.
Yeah.
Have I misunderstood what happened last time? I don't know. I don't want to, I'm not in the business of conjecture. I don't like to pass a judgment with the possibility that I'm wrong. I like to be certain. So I'm in the business of benefit of the doubt. This is a young guy. He's married. He's got a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's an important player for us right now. And he wasn't having a particularly bad time of it. And he reacted. You can see from Garnacho, I don't know if you agree, this isn't a clean-cut boy. This is a young man who's, comes from some hunger and he wants to make it. So if this is Garnacho reflecting on, you know what, or somebody said to him, look, Alejandro, if this is how you are going to behave every time you're substituted or something happens that you don't like, you're a father now. You have, a son. I'm not ostracizing you. I'm doing what I think is in the best interest of the team. You're an important part of this team. We have younger players than you now. This is your 3rd season with us. So either he starts to develop as a 20-year-old man and starts to see the error of his ways, and perhaps that is what this is. But you can hold him to account whether that's what he intends by saying, look, I apologize for my behavior, or it's an apology because we lost. What we will do, we can easily identify what it is in the coming weeks and months. If the next time he's substituted or things happen that he doesn't like and we get a bad reaction, that might be telling. But you have to give players the ability to change, the ability to grow, these young lads. And this is kind of how I want to see this. I could be way wrong. I could be. But, you know, the initial reaction's not always the right one, but it's in the heat of the moment. And then if you reflect and then you think, you know what, that was no good, I need to fix that. Then that's all right with me. You know, that's okay with me. Fix that. Stop, you know, this silly behavior. We need you to be a team player. We need you to understand nobody's above anybody else in this squad. And at this moment, we have to pull together as much as possible. So just be agreeable, amicable. You're playing. You're important for us. You know you are. There's nobody else to play.
I agree with that, Bomàye. I'd like to see, you know, if you look at his Instagram occasionally, guys, I don't, by the way, but I like to see the family life. You know, when he's playing with his baby, or you know, his children or his dogs. That's what social media should be about. I'm not going to show you my house, but this is what I do. This is what I get up and I do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know, Rashford was loving social media when he was doing some brilliant stuff by feeding homeless and school kids. That's what you need social media for. Then you come out and then you don't need it to look like Dr. Dre. I think that's a rapper, isn't it? You know, when you go to watch a basketball play, we don't need social media for that. That's not what it is. But social media, a lot of these so-called celebrities, they love the camera, don't they? And then when it becomes invasive, they get upset with it. And it's always a question to me is, what do you want? You know, what do you want? You know, you go into rehab and you cry it out on social media and the news. You want the news then, don't you? But when you're going shopping, you don't want a camera following you. So what do you want? So I'm with you, Bomàye, on that. Use it properly. So that's why I said my opening statement was I'd prefer them not to use it, because I don't think they do use it properly.
Yeah, it's one of these necessary evils now.
Yeah.
I think there is a part of me as well that we're just as guilty as the players.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
You know, no news like bad news. No news like you know, breaking news. No news like you know. There was a segment when I tune into Arsenal Fan TV. It was one of the first fan cam places, and I'm not on social media. I don't know how to use any of this stuff. So I tune into Arsenal Fan TV when they lose. That's why I go. I want to see people lose their shit. I'm not interested in you I don't care what happened in your game, your analysis. I'm not an Arsenal fan. But I want to see meltdowns. Do you know what I mean? I want to see people have a meltdown. And that is symptomatic of exactly what I'm trying to say. I myself am culpable. With social media.
Can I ask you a question? Bomàye?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that maybe social media was derived from the old fan cam editions? And what I mean by that is, do you remember the fan cam on Sky Sports when the players, when fans would go into this little booth?
Yeah, there was one from each team.
That's it. Yeah. There was this meltdown, wasn't there? And there was this kind of like debate between the two fans, and then if somebody scored, they'd be in your face, and there'd be an absolute meltdown. The other player, the other fan, would be crying in his eyes, and you buy into that. And I wonder whether people looked at that and realised there's actually a market for this idiocy that people like, and it's great and refreshing to hear somebody as intelligent as yourself to come on here, Bomàye, and I meant that with the greatest respect, because I know you are. Come on here. Well, it could sound patronising. I didn't mean it to come across patronising.
No, I did. Don't worry, man.
And but you go to it because you want to see somebody crying and having a meltdown because I can't believe you've done it. And I buy into that, actually. I love it when City fans start crying. I must admit, when City lost to Real Madrid, I did search social media to find a load of City fans.
City fans, yeah, I did too. I did too.
I know, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And that's the type of stuff I love about social media. I really do. But I want our players to be more grown up about it. I want them to be more respectful to the fans. And we always say, don't we, in all our walks of life, everybody in the Devilish Tactico's room and ourselves on here and our friends on other stations and channels, read the room. It's such an important little phrase, read the room. And I don't think our players have the intelligence. Well, they don't have the intelligence on the pitch half the time today, so I could expect them to read the room off it, But you're right, you see, because I work in the MotoGP industry, and the race in Thailand over the weekend, Marc Marquez wins both the sprint race and the main race. It was easy. His brother comes in second, and so you're thinking, well, it's a bit of a procession. Well, we had a tyre pressure issue, so we had to sit behind his brother. So that's where you make the story. You dramatise the tyre pressure issue rather than the actual race win. And that's how it is, because you need to get pairs of eyes reading, and that.
I mean, we are just to emphasize what you're saying, and I'll just finish on this point. We are at the moment, I'd say, probably the worst footballing team on earth. I hate to watch our football. I just do not enjoy it. We're 15th. For over a decade, we've come 81 points under Jose. That was our best second place finish to 100 points City. We're spent half of these seasons, I'd say, not in the Champions League, and the rest of them, but not even in the conversation for anything major of real merit. Yeah, every summer we are linked with 1 million players on a weekly basis, everybody. And I'm asking myself, these people are just selling and wanting, they need their checks signing.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and log into Sky News and listen to, just if you go back last season and look at who we were linked with, how many players and what we actually got and how many of those we got. It's just bullshit, a lot of it. But these people, that's how they make a living. They sell news. It's news now as a commodity. News when I was growing up, I tune in, Trevor McDonald comes on, he's telling you, this is actually what's happening. This is what's happened. Here, look, here's the video. It's live now. We're going live. This is what's going on. Now, words like they've got an eye on, or he's piqued their interest.
Yes.
The most ambiguous, obscure, zero credentials types of vocabulary, and you make an article out of that they've got an eye on him is followed by, this is what he's done over the last season or the last year. Yeah, but what? Okay, I can do that myself. I can know what he's done. What are you talking about? What's happened? Has anything happened? That's your check. They get that signed by us with the views. Boom, you're away. Unfortunately, man, this is the world that we're living in now.
Yeah. I like that analogy, Bomàye. Do you know what my favourite is?
Yeah.
Manchester United are preparing a bid.
Preparing a bid.
That's my favourite ever.
When this year, next millennium, am I going to be around when this bid goes in?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? Preparing a bid. Yeah.
Preparing a bid.
You're right, though, because the biggest exponent out of all of this is old, what's his name? Fabrizio Romano. I mean, he just churns crap.
He's milking it. Milking the cow.
Yeah.
For everything is worth.
Yeah. He was good at first when he was trying to build his channel. now he's just fucking woeful.
Yeah, and this is how they make their living. You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna get their check signed by any way they
Guys,
can.
we are getting viewers from Yabas Men is coming in, Mr. B Mafia. So big up for the raid, Mr. B, and all of you, Bath Time and the legends on that channel. Thank you for coming in and giving us more people in the chat and watching the show. Let's speed it up a little bit. We are 45 minutes into the show. I have more we have to cover. So a lot of great, funny messages from the Devilish Tacticos. You know your stuff, not only football but everything in life. So it's good. And we even had a confession here from Neil Driscoll. He comes in and say, I watch AFT sometimes just to see Ty, so biased, he's good for a laugh. So yeah, we all do, and yeah, it's just the way we are built as humans. But this came out today. I just want to show you. I've been sitting here rehearsing for myself this word on the top, ineligible. Is that how you say it?
That's ineligible. Yeah.
Okay. So the message is, Chido Obi will be unavailable for selection in the remainder of Europa League campaign, having not been included in the revised squad list submitted by Manchester United in February. So Chido is not playing for us in the Europa League for the remainder of the season. It's a little bit of an panic mode in the fan base, because none of us trust Højlund, obviously, because he puts in a stinker after stinker. So it's just what it is, and we are left with relying on a 17-year-old who have been playing 3 games for us as a sub. So Bomàye, I go to you first. What was your initial reaction when you saw this?
Well, I just saw it now, so
okay.
I've not seen it before. But if he's ineligible, so you're saying he's ineligible, and it's because of us?
We didn't sign him on for the Europa League squad.
Okay. Well,
in February, after we had sent Anthony and Rashford on loan.
Yeah, that's pretty silly. I think especially the way things are going at the moment, it's a team where people can come into it if they're given an opportunity and steal a place. That's the type of team this is. There is no nothing is set in stone at this team. Every position, more or less, can be stolen. Whether it's a youngster, whether it's somebody coming back from an injury, whether you move a player around and all of a sudden you find some solution. So would have been nice to have him, especially now that Højlund is really suffering and struggling. And I remember, was it? Yeah, we've had players do really nice, burst onto the scene and it's been in the European. I think Rashford burst on against Arsenal, then he went on against Midtjylland, and I think he did some business for us there. That was like the beginning of, I think it was. So yeah, it's a shame really that. It would have been a definite plus and a good opportunity for the young man. So that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a shame. I agree with that, but I don't know if, because usually when you are a under 21 player, you don't have to sign him off for the Europa League squad or for European football, because if you get an injury, you can just pick one up from the academy. But we signed him this year, so he hasn't been in the club long enough, and that's why. So for me, I suspect, and the first thing that caught my mind was, did United miss this out? Did they think that he could play, and are they just incompetent? Are they showing? Is this incompetence from the club?
It's not incompetence, because you wouldn't have considered him to play.
Yeah.
When the squad was put together
in February,
early February, you wouldn't have considered him to play. He wouldn't have been considered. Yeah. And that's how you look at it. So when they're doing the Europa League squad, they'll look at injuries. They'll look at Ahmad, for example. They'll look to see when Ahmad is back. And if Ahmad is back within that period, say within 3 weeks, and you put Obi in, there's no place for Ahmad. So you hedge. So everything you do in life is all about hedging. And they will hedge. But at that particular time, I would imagine when the squad was being put together, there would be no consideration for Obi to be in that squad. He will be in the Premier League squad or FA Cup squad at that particular time, but potentially not the Europa League squad. It actually looks like a failing, and it looks like an oversight as we speak today. It really does. But there is a certain elements that I would imagine you could do. So if Leny, for example, is in the squad, but we think he's not coming back for 8 weeks, then you can remove one to push one in. But you need to get special dispensation to do that. I'm just using that as an example. I don't know at all, but I'm using that as an example. My suggestion would be, I mean, I don't exactly know when the squad was announced, and when they had to put the squad in. I can't exactly remember the date, so I'd have to try and find that one out. But I would absolutely look at Ahmad as being the kind of figure that they would want in above Obi, and I think that's probably the calculation risk.
I think the deadline was 2nd of February. So from the weekend, Monday, 3rd of February was the deadline.
There's no way then when they were doing that squad, Obi would have been considered for European football.
Yeah, but
when you look at where we are today,
the question is we are lacking forwards. Attackers.
When did you sign him?
Oh, we signed him in the summer. He came in the summer.
Yeah, but he wasn't official. It took a little bit of time because he had to figure out his time because he was 16 at the time, I believe, and something.
He came in the summer. When did Ahmad get injured? What date did Ahmad get injured?
Is that Stephanie's put in the comments there? Early Feb 3rd. Is that
February 3rd. So when did Ahmad get injured? He's only been out for 2 weeks, hasn't he? 3 weeks.
3 weeks, I believe. Yeah.
There you go. So there's your answer.
Yeah.
There's your answer. It's specific. It's days. Ahmad was fit. There's your answer.
Yeah.
I would suggest. Now it looks like a failing, by the way, and I agree with what the guys in the Devilish Tacticos are saying. Yeah, 1000% failing. I get all of that, and I think it's absolutely agreed. But at that time, when you are choosing a squad, when did Obi hadn't even made the bench on the first team on the 2nd or 3rd of February? So you're not going to. Why would you pick him for the European? That's all I'm saying. I'm playing devil's advocate on this one.
Yeah. That's okay. Batman came in with some facts on this. He said, I found out about B list for Europe have been eligible to play for the club for an interrupted period of 2 years since the 15th of birthday of a total of 3 consecutive years with a maximum of 1 year on loan to a club from the same association. Yeah. So
I mean, either way, I would suggest Ahmad you cork in the bottle on this one. What do you think, Bomàye? I could be wrong, but that's what my suggestion would. That's where my thinking takes me.
I think the club's failings are pretty clear in many departments.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll give them a pass on this one. I don't want to kick them while they're right down. I think with Obi, he wasn't really in the picture. He's come into the picture in the last few weeks for us because it's dawned like this is bad. Højlund, come on, let's give this young man a go. And we got a taste, and we approved of what we saw. And now we're thinking, would have been nice a bit more. He's also an unknown quantity in the first team, which is some excitement, of which there is very little in this team. So, yeah, it's one of those things, I suppose. You could call it now, a failing, because I think if you said to United, would you like him in? Yeah, we'd want him in now, especially if imagine Højlund gets injured. Now what?
Yeah, that's the issue. You know, we have a thin squad. We don't have any cover, and you saw against the game yesterday. We had 6 players on the bench. and Fulham had 8.
But don't forget, guys,
2 goalkeepers. No, there's 7 players, and 2 of them are goalkeepers.
But don't forget, gents, when that squad had to be in, we need to look at when our injuries began. Were they after the squad was announced? And you can move players in and out, but they will hedge on it, and they will look at it, and they will think, well, look, if we can get past Sociedad, Ahmed's back in, or Martinez not, but Mount is back in, or whatever. So I'm with Bomàye. I think you've got to give the club a pass on this one.
Yeah, I'm googling the Europa League squad right now as we speak, just to see who's in it. But so you have to give me a little bit of time while I do that. This came out also from Fab today with Ruben Amorim. He said Aiden Heaven and Chido Obi both have to import a lot.
That to me could be interpreted as an indictment on the quality and the ceiling of the current team. So they've got a lot to do, but they're ready to play for us at this moment.
Yeah, I don't mind that statement. I don't with Bomàye on that one. I don't mind that statement. I think you should be telling a youngster, you've got to improve, mate. You've got to constantly improve. I mean, at Bomàye, I wrote to Jarvis during the game yesterday, and I just said, bless him. Obi's understanding, football. He's not under 18 anymore. This is proper football. And I think he did really, really well in patches. But is he going to be the answer to our goal scoring issues? Time will tell on that one, guys. I am very excited about him. He puts himself in there. He worked the centre halves more than Højlund did. Yes. I think he worked Fulham centre halves more than Højlund's worked the last 5 games centre halves. He worked them. He gave them problems. Could have got the penalty if he'd stayed down. I think it was a Stonewall spot kick. I like the fact actually he got up and attempted a strike. I like him selfish as well, because a striker should be selfish. He's always playing on the shoulder. He's always looking to get in behind. You'd love playing with him, Bomàye. From a midfielder's point of view, for the pass, you'd love that type of thing. That's what you want. Højlund would annoy you. He dropped deep nicely. Didn't have the pace. Jarvis showed a brilliant clip of him dropping deep, holding it. Zirks his little volley out to Garnacho. Garnacho went to shoot. He couldn't quite get in, and that's always been a problem this season for us. But I like what I see. Absolutely, I think he's powerful for a 17-year-old. Very, very powerful. If he can,
the way he just pushed off Bassi in that situation.
Bassi's a strong boy. He gave Anderson some issues. Gave Anderson some problems. He's a strong boy. So what I'm looking forward to seeing him now is really push on. I actually don't mind him not being in the Europa League squad anyway. If I'm being honest, we've got bigger fish to fry.
But don't you think like Europe suits him better? Because the tempo is not as high as in the Premier League, so it would be an easier way to ease into the first team and gain valuable experience.
Interesting. Bomàye, I tell you, and you've done this, Jarvis. You've come from junior football into senior football. We'll call it. I don't like men's and boys football. We'll call it junior football into senior football. And your first game, you get the ball. You've got an air of confidence about you. You might get a nice little pass off within 5 minutes. You might be able to get around 1 or 2 players. Then all of a sudden, bang! You've hit this fucking brick wall of a mountain of a man, and he's suddenly, well, now I know where I am. And there's an elements of the game yesterday where Obi Martin absolutely, as we said, overpowered Bassi, overpowered Anderson, but there were also elements of the game where we got absolutely battered. Yeah. Do you remember Mainu and Didi battered him a couple of weeks ago? Leicester had him in his pocket. It was all over him. Bang, 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 bang. So Sociedad, they've got a really good pair of centre halves. They're strong. They're powerful. And do you want to subject him to that straight away? Actually, and Bomàye, I tell you this as well, it will demonstrate to us as fans, it will demonstrate to Amrin and the rest of the squad what he's like as an individual, because he won't be getting battered in training like he would do if Stevie Bruce was there, like he would do if Vida was there, like he would do if Nuruddin was there, kicking the hell out of him. He wouldn't be, that won't be happening in our current training sessions. So I agree with you, Jarvis, and I'm kind of on board with you. I'm on board with everything people are talking about, you want to see this kid really grow and really blossom, really flower into this rose we think he can be. Maybe we just need maybe we just need to give him a bit of time. I don't know.
No, yeah, well, Danny B comes in question, who's responsible for not registering OB. It has to be Amorim who has the final word when he picks his squad. So I don't know. It has to be Amorim. I don't know.
So have you found the squad?
Well, I found the squad, but I'm not sure if it's the right one, because there was a lot of strange name in this, and I can't understand why Chido is not in this squad. First of all, there's 4 goalkeepers: Bayindir, Heaton, Onana, and Dermot Mee.
Yeah. So injured Bayindir, injured Tom Heaton.
Yeah, and we have Lindelöf, Mazraoui, Ligt, Maguire, Martinez. Martinez is in the squad.
So Martinez should be brought out.
Dorgu, Yoro, Dallo, Luke Shaw is here. Evans, Harry Amos.
Yeah, so Bath Time's in there. Bath Time, can you give us the rules about removing players and putting players in? Can you take Martinez out, for example, because that's a dead space in the squad, isn't it? And put Obi Martin in. I don't know if you can maybe have a look at that for us, Bath Time.
Yeah, he'd say he has to be training for 2 years to be in the B squad. Yes. But I think we should have reserved a spot for him in the A squad because of all the injuries and players out on loan and the lack of forwards. So for me, I think maybe he should have been in it.
But... Yeah, so the reason I ask that is you pick a squad of 25, don't you? 26 or whatever it is, or 23, sorry, for the World Cup. But you then allow 5 to 6 B players, just in case you get injuries, call-up players, standby players.
Yeah.
Is that not possible in the Europa League? I guess is my question.
No.
Last time, I don't know if you've got the answer to that, pal.
No, but when it comes to attackers, we have Højlund, Xerxes, Diallo, Garnacho, and Ethan Wheatley, but he's on loan. So
Wheatley again is on loan.
He's a player on the B list. There's an exclamation point here. So
he's B. So is Garnacho B list?
Yeah, but he's a B list. But Chido couldn't be a B list player anyway because he hasn't been in the club for 2 years. So he has to be in the A squad.
Garnacho's got
yeah, but he's an academy player, so he's under 21. So why not open up a space for another one? Yeah. So
who else have we got there? Aiden Heaven.
Aiden Heaven. He's playing. Yes,
he's in there.
I don't know what happened now.
Interesting.
Heaven is in the squad. Heaven is in the squad.
So Bath Times come out and said you can't replace an outfielder, but you can a goalkeeper.
Okay.
As usual. Thanks for that, pal. I didn't know that. Thank you.
But Luke Shaw is here, and Mason Mount is here.
Collier,
when will they be back, and will they ever be back? That's my question.
I
don't know.
That's a great question.
Update on Mason Mount.
Is he still alive? Bless him.
I don't know what is going on.
Yes, he was spotted on a Chelsea reunion the other day.
Oh, was he? I'm not surprised.
Yes.
Do we know what do Betty Swanks? Do we know what his injury was, by the way? Trevor's come up with it, by the way, that Heaven was signed as a first team player. Obi didn't. Okay. That's interesting. Thanks, Trev.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's settled. He won't play. I'm not happy with it. I wish he was in the squad, but there's nothing we can do. So let's just.
It's a good debating point, though, lads. Good debating.
Good debate. Next topic on my list is Harry Maguire, because he's out with a hamstring injury after yesterday's game. So I will suspect he will be out at least 3 weeks. That's hamstrings before you fully recover. I don't know if Maguire is a superhuman or he will be back after 1 week, but I suspect 3 weeks. That's hamstrings, maybe more.
3 to 6, yeah.
Yes. So what do we do with the centre back situation? Because I think Lindelöf came on today. He had a cameo, but I wasn't impressed. He looked really out of shape. Yeah, Lindelöf is Lindelöf. I think he's way too passive, and he plays with high shoulders. They call him the Iceman, but there's no ice in his veins. So my question is, guys, who do we replace Maguire with? Do we trust Heaven to come in, or do we trust Lindelöf to be the replacement? Johnny Evans is still injured. Ligt is injured, obviously. Or do we put Mazraoui as a centre back and play Yoro and the Ligt?
Yeah.
And who will play on the wing back then?
Yeah, right wing back. Who plays that? Well, Dorgu's back. After, I think, is he? But yeah, he's back. No,
he can't play Thursday, can he? Otherwise, that would have been the. Yeah, I agree. I don't think he can play Thursday. Rashmana goes to Casemiro. That's not a bad shout, but I would probably go Mazraoui to do that, and then Mr. Garnacho. I'm sorry, son, get yourself at right wing back.
Wow. Defensively, he's not strong enough. He's not strong enough, Garnacho.
No, he isn't. But you want to. The thing is about football.
His stats from yesterday's game, just to put anything in context here. Duels, 1-2 duels.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. This could completely change our thinking. Everyone's saying Dorgu can play Thursday.
Yes, he can.
So there you go. That's it then, done. Mazraoui comes in, Dorgu at left.
Yes, Dallo on the right. But I just wanted to say, when it comes to his defensive attributes, ground duels 1-2 out of 7, aerial duels 0. So he contributes nothing when it comes to defensively.
Yeah. My point being, if you want to make yourself indispensable, which you should do as a footballer anyway, you should make yourself the first name on the team sheet. You should do everything in your power to be that person that has your name on the team sheet first. Then you've got to be adaptable. And this is the problem. We give way too many players too many easy passes. Oh, he can't play there. How do you know? We haven't seen him there. People, do you remember when we raised? I don't know whether you're on the stream with us, Bomàye, but myself and Jarvis raised the point of Anthony at wing back. And we got absolutely castigated for it, but nobody's seen him play there. Nobody knows. You don't know until you try. And you should be able to, at that level, because don't forget, right, you are an elite footballer when you play in the Premier League. He's an Argentine international. He's an elite footballer. You have to be adaptable. And so you get roasted for 30 minutes. So what? You'll play yourself into the game. You always do. Right? Yeah, so we give players way too much of an easy pass. Bomàye, when you were playing, somebody said to you, you've got to go to right back. Your gaffer said to you, you've got to go right back. What do you say? He's gone. Is he gone?
Bomàye?
Oh, yeah, he's pop off. Yeah. Okay. Jarvis, when you were playing, your gaffer said to you, left back, I need you to play left back today. What'd you do?
I will do as the gaffer tells me. I'll play.
Now, you might not have the best game, and you might be absolutely shite for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but you'll play yourself into the game because you start to understand it.
That's no problem. I can do it. You can trust the gaffer.
Yeah, exactly. You'll understand it. So all I'm saying is, and I, before I get the devilish tactico is absolutely pound on me, he can't play there. We don't know this. We don't know this. That's the thing. We don't know. I don't think he's particularly great at the back post, but we don't know what his abilities are other than what we see. That's all I'm saying. I agree. Look, I agree. It's a daft idea, but sometimes the daft ideas work. They really do.
But when it comes to the selection, from for the next game, we have a lot of.
Bomàye, quick question for you. I just said, obviously about Garnacho and that, but if you're a midfielder, a gliding midfielder, what would you say to your gaffer? He said to you, I need you right back today.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Exactly. So why do we give these players passes? That's all I'm saying. It's just a debate I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying I'm right. It's just a debate, I'm throwing out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, in one season, I played as a left back, played as a central midfielder. In the air is not my strong suit, I played as a right winger. I played as a striker in one season. The only place I got asked to play, I did, and I was dreadful, was centre back.
Well, no, I had a cameo in midfield a couple of weeks ago, right? And I used to play central midfield. I forgot how difficult it was to play Bomàye.
Yeah, man, it's all about. You need to know what's around you and where you are.
Yeah, I was all right touch-wise, but I wasn't comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable with it, but I gave it a go.
I find central midfield is. I flourish there, especially in I love to play in the hole at the tip of the midfield or behind the striker, the secondary striker. That's my thing. But having played on the wings, it's a little bit easier. I find it because I have my bearings because the touchline is right there.
Yes.
Nobody's coming from off the pitch to.
Yeah,
the game is in
from
front
the left
of me,
or the right. Yeah,
and to the right of me. In the midfield, it's it's a little bit quicker, a little bit sharper. It's coming from everywhere.
You see, you flair players, you and Jarvis, you flair players. That's what we like to do. Though. We get the ball into you guys and leave it to you.
Listen, man, our results are only as good as our defenders as well.
That's true. No, it's true. I always say to the guys, look, we get the ball into you guys, you do the rest. That's there's three elements to a team, isn't there? Forget the goalkeeper. There's three elements to a team for a reason, and players position themselves, for a reason. And but sometimes when you put a square peg into a round hole, that square peg actually works. Just on the odd occasion.
On the odd occasion, yes.
Jarvis and goal would be brilliant. I'd love to see Jarvis.
No. I'm 5'7", 8". I don't know exactly in your terms. 176. I don't know how tall you are. So I would never. I can't reach up to the crossbar.
You can jump. You can jump. Hey, can you imagine Jarvis and goal with Nuruddin playing in front of him?
That's my game. That's my game gone. Just gonna be getting shouted. Nuruddin, when we played, he's always been. It's good. He's a good teammate to have. He does not stop. And what I like about him, he's my eyes. I always tell we always used to appreciate a goalkeeper. Be our eyes. You see what's in front of you. Don't be quiet. Tell us. Help us.
Yeah.
And Nuruddin really helped me a lot. And before, I was just forward-minded. But I really quickly, playing with Nuruddin and a few other defensive-minded guys, understood about running with my man, tracking, all those things. And I just took to it like a duck to water when they kind of just took a moment to explain it to me. And it actually happened at a five-a-side game. We used to play five-a-side, and in that, if you don't man mark, forget it. You're going nowhere. You all have to man mark. And I was following the ball, and then an excellent defender we had said to me, "No, I'm going to pass the ball." And I followed the ball. He said, "No, just follow the man." That's all he needed to do, and from there, that was it.
Five-a-side, absolutely. I love that game still.
How's the futsal?
Well, I was about to say I've improved.
Yeah,
I've improved a hell of a lot. I couldn't get to grips with it. I kept pinging it off the wall.
Oh, you're not allowed in that?
No, you're not allowed to. No. So when you go into a gym and you've got you've got the kind of, I don't know, the court area, isn't it, for badminton or whatever? That's where you play. You play within those parameters. Of course, I was pinging it off the wall. I was doing 5-a-side rules, and of course you can lob it up in the air and everything. You can play overhead. It was absolutely brilliant. But I got the first 3 or 4 games. I was just constantly being shouted at. What are you doing? I told you, you know. And I couldn't get used to the football either. I don't know if there's any futsal guys and the devilish tacticos either, but the football's really heavy and a bit small. It's about a size 4. It's quite heavy, but wow, you can ping it though. You can really ping it. It's great fun. I love it. Absolutely love it. And you just don't stop because the ball, and when the ball does go out, by the way, it's a throw in. And it's a kick. It's a kick in or whatever. So it's basically constant for an hour or an hour and 10 minutes how long you're playing. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. Oh, what's he got here?
It's a Lipton tea. I think it's mango and what's the other fruit? It's 2 fruits. Something
nice.
Mango.
Nice. I have summer fruits when I have my teas. This is vitamin C, high strength vitamin C.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And Trevor's right. I had to do my customary 50 push-ups. You know.
Well, yeah, but you do that. You do that.
Marine. That's how I do it.
You do that on 2 arms, don't you? 1 arm each time, 50 on each side.
My pinky.
Oh, listen, here we go. When we were playing 5-a-side though,
mango peach. Yes. How did you know mango peach?
I might have shown Jarvis a little picture of a certain team that was that made the Wall of Fame in our 5-a-side leagues. I think I just showed you that picture, Jarvis. I did, didn't I?
Yes, you did. And I showed you some pictures from my time.
Yes.
I had long black hair, like a headband, like
the other headband down there rather than a pony. I'd loved it if he'd gone into a ponytail. It would have been absolutely brilliant.
Who, Jarvis?
Yeah, honestly.
I must say he's got a nice head of hair though.
He's got some locks, hasn't he? Yeah.
Now it's more grey, but back in the days,
I like that he comes on sometimes to therapy and he's slick back, mafiosi style. That's why I'm thinking yes. Today he's gone with a bit more, curtains rolling back the student days. That's long gone now, Jarvis, man. Slick back, mafiosi we need.
Bloody curtains. My God, I never had curtains. Bomàye, but crikey, they look dumb, didn't they? Curtains.
That was the thing, man. Curtains back in those days.
I want to know. Did any of you? Are you old enough to have the Chris Waddle perm?
No, absolutely not. And thank God. No,
I never had it. I never had the Waddle perm, but I hope some of you guys, if you don't know what the Waddle perm is, please just Google it because it's funny as fuck. Man. Just the back of the head, the Waddle perm.
This is me.
Oh, look at that.
Look at my long black hair, playing central of the midfield.
Jarvis, you're number 10 there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No way, you look like Pablo Aimar.
Yes. He does look like Pablo Aimar. He does, doesn't he? I'll tell you what, he's got that number 7 twisted all over nicely. The old skip doesn't know where to go, does he?
See, I have balance. The balance.
You did have balance. Plus, you got his arm beautifully to keep your balance.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Look at the ref. And you see snow in the back. We started the season early about here, so we just plowed the fields and played football.
Yeah. Me and Bomàye are wondering, where on earth is the ball? Can't believe you're fouling him off the ball. Shocking that is, wasn't it, Bomàye?
I tell you, man, that's dark yellow stuff.
Yes.
Dark arts, that is. Oh,
good old days. The good old days. Yes, I miss playing football. I am. But I'm too old. My body can't handle it anymore.
That's why I don't quit, John. I can't quit. I should quit. I should, but I can't. I miss it. I would miss it too much. I had to buy a new pair of World Cups, Bomàye, the other day.
Yeah, you had them on. You pulled them out.
That's it. Yeah, that's it on the last show. Yeah, they made the debut Saturday afternoon.
And
resounding 5-1 victory.
Nice.
Yeah, we played out in Droitwich, beat Droitwich out in Droitwich, so 5-1. So it was good.
So next week, if it don't go your way, you can't blame the boots. They've already vindicated their purchase.
Well, victorious boots, I think. But they were Do you know what? I didn't, because we finished the show late. I didn't get a chance to bathe them, but they still were like a glove, Bomàye, like an absolute glove on my feet.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Real leather is the way.
Beautiful boots.
Kangaroo, right?
Kangaroo, yeah, beautiful boots. Beautiful boots.
How did it go? Did you get any blisters? When new shoes? No,
you don't get them with the World Cups and the Kings. Right. To be fair, do you? Because you wear Kings, don't you, Bomàye?
Yeah, they
you don't get them. They're just the best bits going. Yeah.
They get the more you wear, the more you play, man. The more they take to your feet, the better.
They just mold. They just mold into your feet. If you were wearing the new Predators now, the very latest Predators, you'd have blisters. Yeah, you won't be able to. You won't be able to take them out of the box and play, but you can with the Kings. Probably Tiempos as well, I would imagine, Bomàye. I've never really worn Tiempos.
No, me neither.
But the Kings definitely. And the Coppers and the World Cups. Straight out the box, straight onto the pitch. No missing.
Classic. But do you know what? I had one time somebody, when I was quite young, a semi-pro player, took a bit of a liking to me. They let me train with them.
Oh, nice.
And he gave me a brand new pair of mint miters back in the day.
Ooh.
Just lovely boot, man. Beautifully weighted, just mint boot. Such nice touch, you know what I mean, on the ball, fit like perfect, strike the ball really well. I know miters not like a mint, boot.
They were back in the day, weren't they?
Honestly, they were really good.
Did they have on the outsole? Were they the ones with the 3 studs on the outsole?
What, at the front?
Yeah, you had 3. There they were. Yeah. Miters were the only one to do that, weren't they? And they did that for tipping grip.
Mm-hmm.
They just stuck to what, the ball just sticks to your feet.
Yeah.
And the sometimes when you put a shoe on, a boot on, an Astro on, I want to feel the ball as much as possible to gauge the weight.
Yeah.
And these were just beautiful. And that's the only pair of miters I ever had in my life.
I think I had someone. I think I had someone when I was small as well. I'd have to look back and think about that. But I remember the boot, you see, because they were quite innovative at the time, weren't they? You just had 6 shooters before that, so Mitre decided to bring out the 7.
Yeah,
the 7 shooter. So when you had the 4 studs, the 2 at the top, the 2 at the bottom, on your outsole, there was a 3rd one in the middle. It was quite innovative, really. And the Lecoq Sportif were out at the time. They're a decent pair. Sportif. That's all. But they were they were beautiful leather. I never had a pair of Lecoq Sportif. There's some great boys boots, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was nice back in the day, man. I enjoyed it.
Mustafa comes in and say, I was a bit late to the stream. You guys talked about Amorim's expression and body language. Read that they want to talk with Emery. To be fair, he knows the Premier League.
I've not seen that, Mustafa. So,
can
you dig out the article and maybe share it with us? I've not seen that, pal. Sorry.
No. Diadora boots, A6 boots. I was more of a Nike guy because I haven't. What do you call it? A narrow. Narrow. Yeah. So Nike was my kind of thing.
Diadora, was it Donadoni, lads? Diadora.
It was.
Yeah.
Donadoni. Yeah, Donadoni. Yeah. Wow. I had some New Balance only to try them because I love Robson. I had a pair of New Balance Robson Pro for one season. Only because I like Robbo. Why wouldn't you do that?
You remember Kelme?
Kelme, yeah, they're still around. Kelme.
Never had them.
Had the K, didn't they? Had the K. And Joma, there was Joma around, or whatever it is. Joma, if you pronounced it Joma, they're still around, aren't they? You've got an old Italian pair called Pantafloro. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but those are supple leather. Very plain. But I did have a pair of Patrick as well, guys. Mine had a green sole. I think they were called Patrick Contrast, but Patrick were really big in the day as well. Where have all these boots gone? Where have they all gone?
Where did all the flowers go?
They got bought, closed down, and amalgamated to Nike and Adidas and Puma.
Yeah, I read a friend of mine. He's got a pair of Skechers, and he said they're absolutely top draw boots. Really, really comfortable. Yeah, but actually, Jarvis, if you can Google Skechers, show Bomàye what they're like. Harry Kane wears them Bomàye. But I read somewhere that a few of old Nike executives left Nike they were poached, obviously, to launch the Skechers boots. And if you have a look at them, I think you'll probably see the similarities, let's say.
Skechers.
Yeah. I don't know which one to pick, but
they're all quite similar.
Pro Direct,
Pro Direct, yeah. They're all quite similar. High-tech Silver Shadow trainers, lovely Lola's coming with. Wow, she's going back.
No,
Silver Shadows.
Yeah, I'm watching them. They do look Nike. They do look like Nike boots. They definitely do these Skechers. Yeah, they do.
They're supposed to be hugely comfortable.
Yeah. Man, comfort is king, over aesthetics. I'm all about my comfort, me.
Yes.
I used to have some fantastic players I played with. If their shorts weren't perfect, they couldn't play. If their top wasn't absolutely perfect, they couldn't play. If everything was not perfect, looking nice, they had problems. I was totally the opposite. You know what I mean? Just give me a shirt and shorts. As long as the boots are all right, I'm not too bothered.
I'm the same, except if I didn't get number 8, I'd start whinging.
Rob Taff comes in and says Skechers are great now. Feels like you're bouncing. So
I've never worn a pair. That's really interesting. I've never worn a pair. Yeah, and sorry. Yes.
Yeah. I think we drifted a little bit. Let's just try to go back into football. We have just half an hour left. We can do the Q&A session. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the Real Sociedad game coming up on Thursday. Europa League. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. That's the Europa League right now. If we're not winning the Europa League this season, we won't see any European football on Old Trafford next season, and it will cost us dearly when it comes to financial income. No Europa League, and it will make it harder for us to sign any big players. So in a way, it doesn't matter if we save up a lot of money till the summer transfer window if we don't. If they don't want to come to us because we don't have Europe. So. I'm just curious. I see Mustard coming in and say, who are Sociedad's danger men? And we can have a look at Real Sociedad. I saw their game when they won 3-0 against who was it? Leganes or yes, Leganes. They won 3-0. They looked really solid. All of them, all of the 11 is ballers, as Spanish players in the Spanish league always are. Good on the ball, very tidy, very secure. They just passed it around, ball to feet, tiki-taka style football. And they have the anchor in the central in the midfield, the Subamendi. He's like a kind of a Rodri-esque type of player, and he was really good. But other players, this guy, the Japanese guy, Kubo, the right winger, he impressed me in that game. A really good dribbler, old-fashioned type of winger, but he had a work rate I haven't seen. He was up and down all the time for the full 90, hardworking. So he will cause us trouble, and I don't know, the Swedish striker Oskarsson, I think, is quite good. So I don't know, have you heard of any of these players, Stu or Bomàye?
I've seen a little bit of them. Zubamendi he just makes them tick. He's the one that is Rodri, he just makes them tick. But I quite like their left back Lopez. I think that's how you pronounce it. Very good, very strong. Decent on the ball, but but he looked out of place actually at the weekend when Barcelona spanked them. But
yes, they were 10 men. We have to say.
Yeah. Barcelona have got, can spank anybody at any given time, can't they? So I think if we can't get hold of Zubimendi and their two fullbacks, then we're going to have problems from an attacking point of view. That's really as much as I've seen. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I couldn't give you an in-depth, deep dive to them. I'm really looking forward to the game, actually.
Yeah, I think we are up for a difficult game, and then Mustafa comes in and says Sociedad has about 10 or 12 losses in La Liga with 34 points or so. And
He's right.
They seem comparable to United, but they are 9th in the league, I believe now. So, but what I saw against Leganes, they were really good. I would say really good, and I thought by myself right away, we are out. I don't see us winning in this game. They looked quality, especially at home. So it will be a tough game. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about how we will set up the team? Maybe I put up a team right here, and we have Onana in goal. As you said, Mazraoui will have to play right centre back, the Ligt centrally, and Yoro on the left, with Ugarte and Bruno, Dorgu on the left, Dallo on the right, Garnacho on the left, Xerxes on the right in the 10s, and Højlund on top. Or could we do anything else?
I'd put Eriksen in.
You play Eriksen for Garnacho or Bruno?
I'd probably play Eriksen for Xerxes or Højlund. I'd switch one of those two. Probably Højlund. Put Xerxes up and put Eriksen in.
So you do it like this?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's
it's a tricky one. I think Eriksen can get hold of the ball, and I think he could do some damage with his passing. But I don't see goals.
That's actually a great idea, Stu, because when I look at this, I see Yoro drifting left, and maybe when we defend, we will go something like this. With the
that's how I see it.
With midfield trio and a 4, Dorgu running up and down, Garnacho up and down, and Xerxes be the connector for those two guys.
And he can hold the ball, Xerxes, better than Højlund.
Yeah, because Eriksen will be the playmaker in this area, and he can actually shift the play over to the other side and utilize both Garnacho and Dorgu in that instance.
Yeah,
not a good idea, Stu. Good idea. BomÀye, how do you see it? Is there any other possibilities?
They play Zubimendi in front of the defense, and then they have 4, and then they have 1. Me, I respectfully, I wouldn't play Eriksen in this game. I think that's a good possession team. There's going to be a lot of work to be done. So I would possibly put Bruno where Eriksen is, and I would put Casemiro in the centre.
Yeah, okay. Again, I wouldn't disagree with that, actually.
Yeah, so you go like this, and you would put Casemiro in this midfield.
Eriksen out and Bruno in.
Oh, yeah. So Bruno here.
That's what I would tend to do there.
Yeah. You have a solid pivot.
I mean, either way, we don't.
I would do it like this more.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
Casemiro in the deep position, I think is too rash.
Yeah, you could do it that way, actually.
Yeah.
Ugarte is a funny one. I think Ugarte, in the main, he's been charged with the responsibility to put fires out, which I think he's good at. I like, he does have a sense of danger. He is capable of some reasonable, sometimes surprising forward football, but it's not synonymous with him, and he gets criticized for being quite two-dimensional. Win the ball back, then give it to Bruno or Eriksen, whoever's playing. But I do understand that as well.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it's a weird one. And
The one we
Casemiro,
struggled with Eriksen was to give us a bit more playability, because I think he just offers a little bit more playability than.
he does.
But you could easily put Eriksen alongside Agati and still put Bruno where he is, couldn't you?
Eriksen, when Eriksen plays, he's just beautiful. I love that player.
Yeah. It's just intelligence for me. That's what I think.
Quick, intelligent, already knows where he's going before he receives. Such a important quality. My only struggle is I'm considering that they're going to come to attack. They flow. We can't defend. So my worry for him is we may not see as much of the ball, because Eriksen is really good, especially when a team decides, right, we're dropping off.
Yeah.
We're just going to counter. He can unlock. He's really important. But if we're not seeing a lot of the ball and we're going wave after wave and he's having to drop back, I feel for him. That's where it kind of gets him. So my thinking was shore it up a little bit, put Bruno in there. He, I'm not saying it's phenomenal, but you will get a shift. And yeah, Xerxes up top allows you to do that, which is fine. I mean, you can always bring Rasmus on. And man, if the game might be different. Maybe this could be an Eriksen game. I just don't quite see it that way with this team.
I think Bomàye. The only reason I went with Eriksen is I think we've got to try and win the game. We've got to try and get up the pitch, and I think Eriksen gets us up the pitch with his guile. But I don't disagree with anything you say, pal. I can see both sides basically.
The devilish tacticos are not very optimistic when it comes to the game, and
I don't think anybody is on the game as a whole, really, are we?
But what I see can happen, Stu, in this game, and I will give you something else, because I don't trust Garnacho. I don't think I see him as an impact player, and I would like to have him on the bench coming in when the legs are getting tired, and I think he can play a better role. So I have a alternative for you guys.
What about Eriksen instead of him?
Heaven.
No, I shouldn't. Heaven, like this. And if we can do it something like this. Play Yoro on the right, Heaven on the left. I will have Dorgu on the right. Something like this. Because I would actually like to see him playing in the 10.
Yeah, you mentioned that in a stream, didn't you, not so long ago?
But not Eriksen. Maybe I would go for Casemiro then.
Yeah,
to get some extra defensive stability and to support Heaven, Ugarte and Casemiro.
That's the only issue I've got with it, is I think we're too defensive. That's the only problem I've got.
I like it different. I forget Heaven. Relying on Mazraoui there is taking a lot away from us, I think.
Yeah, and Yoro's a better left back, isn't he? Left centre back, I think.
But you got to remember, we are away against Sociedad, and we will most likely play most of the game with the back five, like this, and then we have Bruno dropping down, and we have Dorgu who is physical and has a big engine. He can run up and down all the time and support both ends. And Xerxes will be the connector.
If the game is going to go like this, though, one thing Garnacho is an outlet. He's a proven outlet. The end product is not always great, but he's a proven outlet that allows you to get up.
Yeah.
Dorgu playing there is an unknown quantity. I've not seen him play in that part. It's either on the left with the hugging the touchline, or on the right. So it could work. It's interesting, At this point, I'm open to everything. To be honest with you, no pushback.
But we have a left footer and a right footer on this side, then. So You know, you could see them interchanging. Dorgu running the diagonals into the channel. Dallo,
Dallo, your boy Dallo inverting. That's what you want.
Well, this is where Dallo is at the most dangerous. You know, he can't cross, so him on the side is useless. But
what you can't have though is Xerxes going into that area. Xerxes and that system is going to have to play on the shoulder, because Bruno and Dorgu and Dallo, if they invert, Mazraoui will need that space in the middle. So they'll have to play on the shoulder. Xerxes will.
But the weakness here in this is Casemiro. Mazraoui offers nothing when it comes going forward on this side. No,
that's right. Yeah.
So maybe it would be better, more balanced if you put a player like Eriksen in here, just to maybe Eriksen can go into this pocket here, the playmaker pocket, and shift play over to other side. So we have Dorgu and Dallo coming on this side.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't dismiss it, Jarvis. Interesting. You've got to put a curveball in there once in a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's like what you say about I said Garnacho right wing back. There you go. You've got to put a curveball in. Dorgu's your curveball.
Yeah. He is.
Why not? They won't be expecting it.
No, they wouldn't. But I don't know. It's but most likely he will go for the first option that we put out. The usual thing, but I don't think it works. So I would like us to try something else, try something new, something fresh.
Well, and this is the thing, you know, you have to do that in football. I've said it before, you know, so why not do it? But Amorim won't change it. He probably won't change what he wants to do. He won't change his ideals, and I quite like that.
Stubborn, isn't he?
Yeah, I quite like that about him. I think, you know, some of the best managers are stubborn. But he might just come up with that. It'll be really interesting to see, you know, what's happening. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to laugh at Arsenal and Villa and other teams before we play. So, but no, I mean, look, Dorgu. You know, Mustafa's talking about Dorgu having the lungs, and he does have the lungs for that. That's for sure. So,
yeah,
interesting.
I don't.
We better do the Q&A. Yeah, we better do the Q&A, pal. Looking at the time.
But before we go to Q&A, I have just a quick transfer update from Transfers MUFC. That's Rushmano's.
I saw that. Yeah.
Channel. So Real Betis are looking to open talks with MUFC in the coming days over a permanent deal for Anthony, and Real Betis are set to offer in about 20 to 25 million euros, but United wants at least 40 to 50 million euros. It's Stretty news. That's the source.
That's a stretch for Real Betis, 40 to 50 million, man.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
If you got to remember, he's on high wages, 200 and something, 210 to 15.
It is a stretch. Now, I also think 20 to 25 million is low ball in this as well.
Yeah.
If we get 30 mil for him, 35 maybe, I think it's good business.
And as you say, you know, it's a big wage. If he's not part of it, you're not going to get many opportunities. He seems to be enjoying it. He's doing well. He likes the weather, the setup. So, Wendy has a question for you.
We will come to that on the Q&A. So yeah, we will
answer. We'll do
and the last update is now it's Chido Obi Martin thing. So I have no more updates. Let's play the Q&A, guys, girls. Give us a couple of questions for us to talk about, and we can do a quick Q&A, 10 minutes before we wrap up the show.
Wendy's got one. She says.
Wait.
I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it with you.
Yes.
Somebody, we got a jingle. We got a jingle.
That was nice.
Tremendous jingle, that is. Tremendous jingle. Jarvis, what are you doing in the hot seat? Get out of the hot seat, you. Oi. Get over there. Oi, get over there. Jesus, I'll tell you what, Bomàye, if you don't get hold of him, he's problems.
Yes, thank God there's not two of him.
Yes, exactly. He's problems. He may be a Marine, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Sorry, Skip.
Aye, Captain. Aye, Captain. Welcome to the Q&A. First and foremost, thanks for everybody joining in. Supporting the channel. Again, if you could please smash the like. I think we've got 37 views and 37 likes. I think we're on 100% in terms of views and likes, or close to it. So that's absolutely brilliant. So thank you very, very much for that. But likes are our currency. I just need to be very, very brief about this. Likes are our currency. So if you can reach out to your friends and family, we'd love to get over 600 subscribers over the next 24 hours. By the time we come on Thursday evening after the Sociedad game, it'd be brilliant if we're over 600. Great to have Bomàye here as well. We call him the voice. He's very
voice.
We call him the voice. When I was first on with Bomàye, it was Late Night Love with Bomàye. He's got that soothing voice. Love him to bits, and it's an absolute pleasure to have him with us as well. So let's get the questions up and running. So Wendy does have a question. It's a question for the panel. So that's Jarvis and Bomàye. How do we develop players if at 20 years old fans expect players to be the complete product? Brilliant question. Love that. Isn't Garnacho still learning? Bomàye, we'll start with you on that one.
Yeah, it's it's a fair point. I suppose when you put it into context, third season, still a young man, developing as a person. There is a willingness to change. There was a small period where Garnacho started to make the mature decisions to find the teammates instead of just going on his own all the time. Now he's reverted a little bit back to type recently. So players need time. It is true, but we are a little bit impatient. I don't think our fan base is a bad fan base. We've been quite good considering how bad things have been for how long. But I guess these frustrations are just natural when you keep seeing the same mistakes over, the same bad decisions over and over. You start to say, hang on a minute, we need to start making the right ones because they're there, they're available, and that's one of the problems. But like Dorgu, he's young, Yoro, all this team, I keep saying it over and over again, it's such a young team. The class of 92, we had 5 really good talented players coming in to a team filled with leaders, winners, to a culture that they thrive in. This is different. This is difficult. This is almost the embryo of another rebuild in the image of a new manager that plays a new way. So in reality, there are a lot of babies there, and we do need to be ultimately patient with them and give them a little bit of leeway. It's the good, the bad, the ugly at this stage. So it is a fair point, and sometimes I think our emotions get the better of us and it goes out the window a little bit. But when you step back and you think 20 years old, this team, new manager, a lot of turbulence, a lot of chopping and changing, not quite a good solid foundation, a culture of winning. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Jarvis?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. By the way, big up Wendy. He's a loyal follower, been following this channel and MUFC Realist TV and Noradin channel, and always a good debate with Wendy. So the question to the panel: how do we keep players if at 20 years old fans expect players to be the complete product? Yes, this is a big issue, and we don't have time to ease them in because we don't have the finished product. The quality of our squad is not good enough, and for me, I think we struggle now at the moment, and I don't see us absorbing all these young talents coming into the squad at the current moment, and I think the pressure will be too much for a lot of these guys. But I don't think we sign all these young players at the moment just to ease them into the first team. I think we are looking at selling them on as prospects to us to gain money. because I think INEOS has a plan, and it's a business plan, and it's about turning the finances around, and this is how they want to do it, making money on young players. And unfortunately for us, that's how football is operating at the moment. So you look at Chelsea, look at Manchester City, all these other clubs, Aston Villa, all of them are trying to sell on their prospects to gain valuable money on the FFP. So yeah, but to answer your question, it's not easy, and it was easier back in the days when he had a more balanced squad, tougher squad. Everything was more in balance, more in harmony, I would say. Coming into a wasp's nest, a bee's nest, as Man United are at the moment, it's hard to be in the club not getting stung. So yeah, it is what it is. But in time, I think we will see a change in this culture. I hope. It's hopium, yes, but I'm hoping that we will see a change, because but in a way it's also a good thing, because now only the toughest prevail and the toughest go through. You have to be thick-skinned. You can't be you have to have the right mentality, and you will be tested at a young age, and if it's either sink or swim. So there's pros and cons at the current state, but I'm not happy with it how it is now.
Yeah, well, Wendy, I'll just give you a very, very short answer. I think if you're an elite footballer, you have to improve daily. I don't think players today are bothered about improving. They don't work on their own personalities, their own personal game like they used to, and the only way you improve is by doing that. You should never wait on somebody to demonstrate how to improve. You should always want to improve yourself. That's how you become the best person that you can be. So great question, Wendy. Really, really appreciate that. Manos has come in with a quick question, very quick question, guys. Aren't Juve interested in Anthony too? I haven't seen that, to be fair, but that doesn't mean that's not the case. Jarvis?
I think a lot of clubs are looking at Anthony at the moment. I think they understand that he's actually a good player. And he's doing bits at Real Betis, so it wouldn't surprise me if you are interested in Anthony, and maybe they are, but I haven't seen or read anything about it. But Roshmano will confirm or deny if it's something there.
Yeah, Bomàye?
I hope so. The more people that are interested, the more potential money we can recoup for him. So yeah, I think he is a good player. And what was telling with me for Anthony is he said that people don't see the work that I do. And right now I have found myself, is what he said.
Yes.
And he goes, I like the weather. I like the culture. Players come here sometimes, and it's not that they're bad players. They just don't settle. The culture's different. The way of life is different. And you have to understand about wife and kids. If they're not happy, you can never be happy. This is the stuff that we don't see sometimes and we overlook. So sometimes, it's if he's happy at Betis, he's rediscovering the Anthony, doing the things that we were hoping he'd do, then that's great. And I hope Juventus are interested. And
did you see the physicality comment from Amorim? It's about physicality.
No.
No, he just said in an interview, someone asked him about Anthony, and he said, yeah, it's because of the physicality of the league. Right. So yeah, he basically said that Anthony is not strong enough for the Premier League.
Again, as a player, as a man, as an individual, you got to sort that out yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Great question, Manos. Thank you for that. Another question from Boxing Straight Talk. Very, very quick one-player answer. Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. If you could sign one player in the summer, that's your choice. Who will it be? I'll go first. Cunha.
Yeah, he's been. Did you see he got a red card the other day?
He did. I like that. Yeah, it was a bit petulant, but I still like that. He got a red. Shows gumption.
I think he went overboard. After 5 minutes, you should calm yourself down. They had to like push him out of the stadium and into the tunnel, and even then he came back like fighting with the.
He got a red card or he was in trouble, wasn't he, against Ipswich for doing something very similar. But we need that spirit. Nobody in our current team would do that. Maybe Agate, perhaps.
Yeah. For me to answer this question, I would like the Devilish Tacticals to give me some options, because I'm not a transfer guru when it comes to all of this. I watch football, I study some players, but I don't have a clue when it comes to who's the best. I don't play FIFA anymore, or Championship Banner, so I don't know the names of every player in every league. But there are some gems out there. I know a lot about the Norwegian players. We have some gems there. As I said, we have this young guy, Nypan. I think he's really good, talented, technical midfielder. I wouldn't mind signing him, but if I can choose from a higher shelf, I would go for a striker. And I kind of like this the lap guy on Ipswich. I think he has something with him. I think he's strong. I think he could do a job. But yeah.
BomÀye?
As I'm glad you asked me last. I still haven't got you an answer. I was thinking about the team, and I think about somebody playing next to Agate, and then I think about a striker, lack of goals. I think about a wide man. We just we need a striker. We need somebody that is just intelligent. Somebody that has a desire to score goals and be in the right place and is not afraid to make those runs and play with some courage, that can do things for himself when the game is not going quite well. A striker who, this Delap kid is a good player, I like him. Yeah, he's good, but
doesn't score enough goals. That's his problem.
Doesn't score enough goals. But we're just not signing the best anymore. So maybe it will be a player that United does a jump up for in terms of money, in terms of a platform. But yeah, a striker, man, a striker. Which one, I don't know. Cunha is good. Delap is a shout. Yeah, I can't really think of too many off the top of my head, to be honest with you. But a striker, I'd say.
Okay. Lovely, no problem. If you do think of one in the remaining minutes, let us know. Lovely Lola's got a quick question for me. Can I do more keepy uppies than Michael Knight? And actually, I never bothered with keepy uppies, so I could only probably do about 2 or 3 today. I was rubbish at them. Didn't practice them or anything like that. I just enjoyed playing football, so probably no, because I think Michael Knight was half decent from what I can remember, so probably no to that one. Question from Rob Taff. We're running short on time, guys, so I'm going to try and get through these quickly. If no Europe next season, should fans lower their transfer expectations? Absolutely, they should, but we should lower them anyway, because we're not anywhere near the top tier table anymore. You were going to have to work doubly hard to convince any player of note to come to Manchester United at this point in time. So I would say yes, we do. Bomàye?
The expectations are lowered already, I think. I mean, I personally am not asking for a league or a Champions League or anything. I'm asking for some consistency and to tune into a type of football that is at the very least entertaining. And signs, all I was looking for with Ten Hag and all I'm looking for now is signs of things that I can believe in, that we are going somewhere positive.
Yes.
So the expectations are very, very low anyway, I think.
No, I totally agree. Jarvis, quick one from you.
I concur with what Bomàye say. I have no expectations for next season. Top 10, that will be nice. Maybe us fighting for a conference league, that will be something. But
that is music to the ears of anybody who has to buy players if they're listening. They only want top 10. Let's go and get them a few top 10 players and be done with it.
That's terrible. Mustafa's, we've got a couple of questions left, guys. Mustafa's come in. Chido, Obi. Can't play in the Europa League yet. Would you play him in the Premier League now instead of Højlund? If Højlund gets this match time or this much time, I think what he's saying is Højlund in the Europa League while we're in it, and Obi Martin in the Premier League.
I think whatever it is, if things continue as
Really
they are,
there's
no reason why you don't give this young man a go.
Mm-hmm.
He has everything to gain and not very much to lose, and that's exactly what I'd say to Obi. I'd say, listen, you've got everything to gain here. Go out there, do your stuff, steal a place. I'm going to give you opportunities. Why not?
Yes. No, I totally agree. Jarvis, do you concur?
Chido, yeah, let him play. But I would. The problem is, I wouldn't play him as a lone striker. So I think Amorim has to adapt a little bit and maybe go for the 5-3-2 formation and play him in tandem with either Xerxes or Rasmus, because I think the task is a little bit too much for him to play 90 minutes up against big centre-back, Premier League centre-backs. I think he needs some help. And I don't see Garnacho giving him that help needed. And Xerxes in the 10 is not very mobile, so he tends to stay in his position. So I think for Chido to start, Amorim needs to adapt his system a little bit to accommodate Chido. I think that will be the only way now in the beginning, at least.
Yeah, it's a personnel thing for me as well. I would put Bruno up alongside him. So he could kind of like in-game coach him, because that's what he'll need at that age. You need
Bruno.
Yeah, you need constant communication all the time, where to be, when to receive the ball, what to do with the ball, constant communication to a young lad like that. I don't think you can really start him if you don't have Bruno up alongside him. Xerxes won't do anything for him, and neither will Garnacho. If you don't communicate to the poor lad, he's not going to know really where they want him at any given time on the pitch. So I think Bruno would be best suited to go alongside him. Great question, though, I have to say.
I just want to say hi. I see a couple of new names in the chat.
Yeah.
We have Crazy Eddie coming in. Crazy Eddie, good to see you. And also Red Devil United TV coming in.
Big Richie.
Big
he changed his TV name again. Rich. I like the logo, Rich. I like the logo. Couple of questions to go. Let's have a quick look. Trev, is this the worst period in United's history, not counting the Munich disaster or relegation? I'm sorry to say, Trev, it's not. No. We've had some very, very low points in our club's trajectory. Very, very low points.
Yes.
Early 70s, late 60s, we weren't the very, very best. We had some substandard managers, but some of the football under.
But Stu, let me ask you. You're older than me, so you lived through those days. And what was it as toxic as it is now, or did the expectation rise when we had the Fergie era? And is that the time, the Fergie era? Is that the what you call the bar now? And we always reach for it.
Yeah, so Fergie's era completely distorts actually what we are as a club in terms of our results. I think if you look back in our history, we've only had 3 or 4 managers that have actually won the league. I'd have to find out exactly how many, but there's only 4. So
yeah,
that will tell you in our history how difficult we parts that we've had. But I think what he did, Fergie, is almost going to actually become a victim of his own success in many ways, because the expectation that has been garnered from what Sir Alex did is never be matched. It just won't be matched. Any manager that comes in just won't match what Sir Alex did. It's just impossible. You know, people will say that Guardiola is a better manager. I don't think he is. He's proven not to be. When everything goes all right with Guardiola, it's fine, but now it's not. He doesn't quite know how to get the best out of City. So when you are winning, and I can only relate to what it was like when I was a child. So I would get a Manchester United kit for Christmas, and I'd walk in, and people would look at me and think, "What the hell's that?" Because at that particular time, it was all Wolves and Liverpool, because these were the teams that were winning at that occasion. And so a lot of Manchester United's current fan base is relatively young. There's a few of us older fans, but you know, the club doesn't want me as a fan anymore. I'm not required as a fan anymore. They want social media. They want the younger generation, and they're going to struggle because we're in a situation where the club just isn't performing and we aren't winning. So you're not gaining unless you've got, you know, father like yourself or an uncle who took me when I was very small, and it almost follows down. Then if kids are allowed to make up their own minds, then they are buying Liverpool shirts again and City shirts and Arsenal shirts and whatever. It's been spread around a lot more than what it was when Manchester United were dominating the Premier League. The other thing about it is within the Sir Alex era, we all know he struggled in that period when he took over from Ron Atkinson. He struggled to get anything going at Manchester United because it was a difficult club to come into. We had some really, really great players, but it was a difficult club to come into. They made the decision after Tottenham to float the company onto the stock exchange. So you then opened up the door to predators, and we know what happened there. So I don't want to go through that. So Alex,
that was a naive.
You are sorry.
That was a naive move from the club.
Naive move. Yeah, correct. Yeah. I think they saw Tottenham do it and realised if Tottenham can kind of make some kind of profit, or the company could grow in its value, then Manchester United would double that. What the interesting thing about when Fergie came in, you know, with the Ron Atkinson days were terrible. They were just awful days. The football was dull. It was dull under Dave Sexton. But at that time, you didn't really care. So I would go to school. Manchester United had been smashed 6-0 by Ipswich, and I'd be, you know, I had the piss ripped out of me, but I didn't care. I love Manchester United. Nowadays, it's completely different. So the question was, is it the worst? Is it currently now? I don't think it is, but unfortunately, Trev, it's all relative as well, mate. You know, it's all relative. But Bomàye, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, it's up there. It's up there. I'll just leave it at that. It's up there, man.
No, that's fair enough. And Jarvis, I would imagine you're similar.
Nah, you got to remember, I started following Man United in the late 80s. I would say like 88, 87-ish. But, you know, when you're younger, you not care as much about results in that way. You support the team and you're proud of it and stuff like that. You go to school, you wear your shirt. And luckily for me, you know, we came into a successful era. So you know, that was a coincidence. But I most of my adult life, Man United have been great. And you know, since 2012, since our last title, it's been, we all know how it went. So I would say in my grown-up life, this is the worst as it has been. So, but you know, I'm old enough to understand that it's football. You know, everybody wants to win, and we can't all come in first. So,
no, that's right. I mean, Liverpool. You have to bear in mind, Liverpool went 30 years.
Yeah, and we went 26 years.
26. So
18 years to go, boys. We'll get there.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the thing is, I got to say, Stu, I just want to say this. People got to remember we are a great club, and the Munich air disaster. 8 guys died for the club.
Yeah.
Harry Gregg pulled his teammates after the burning airplane. The drama that happened, you know, they took off 3 times. There was slush on the airport, and the team died in a way, but we came back. And during the Second World War, Old Trafford was bombed by the Germans, the Nazis.
It was.
And we survived. And this club is about, we sing we never die, and it's for a reason. We have a history. We're not plastic. We're not a burger from Burger King. That's like, we're not plastic. We're not shallow. We have a history, and we should be proud, even though we are 15th or 14th in the league. And I will always support United. I love this club, and people got to remember this, and we will win the league again. It's just a matter of time, because we are a great club.
We'll get there.
Will happen.
We'll get there. Well said, guys. Trev has got another question. Stu, as you're involved in motorsport, do you think we'll ever see Marcus Schumacher in public again? Probably not, Trev. It's a huge shame. I met him briefly. I didn't interview him. I didn't speak to him, but I met him briefly. It's a shame what happened to him. I don't ski. Jarvis will probably be able to put a bit more meat on the bones when you hit your head in a skiing accident. I don't know what kind of speed he was going, but it's unlikely that we'll see him.
It was a severe brain injury, wasn't it?
Yes, he hit his head on a rock, I think. I don't know how fast he was going, but unlikely. And unfortunately, within the fraternity, Trev, it's hush-hush. They've kept the quietest lid on his recovery that I've ever known for anybody, and it's such a shame. Final question from Lovely Lola, and it's for Jarvis. How's the dog Arwen doing?
Well, she's doing great. She's doing great. Yeah. She's happy, and she always wants food. I don't know what if any of you have dogs, but she's always nagging about food. So, but
she must be a Liverpool fan, definitely not a United fan if she's happy with an appetite.
Let me see. She's coming here. Come.
Is she going to come up?
Yeah.
Oh no, bit of a pick. Oh dear. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Yay. Hello. I don't know if that's her voice.
Well, you never know. You never know. Guys, that's the end of the Q&A. Jarvis's Arwen's dog. I believe you put a poll on. I didn't get any bloody votes for likes. What's going on? Absolutely gutted. Bomàye got more than me.
I put up a new poll, and that was about subscriptions. So
subscribe.
9 away from 600 subs, and everybody said yes, I already subscribed. So thank you everybody for your subscription. And we are on, let's see here, I have on my phone, we are 591 subs. We are 9 away. So
come on, we can do it. We can do it before Thursday. Can do it. Subscribe for Jarvis. There you go. Put that poll on. Subscribe for Jarvis. I didn't get one vote. One vote.
What's the poll?
I didn't see the poll either, but I didn't know. Trev thought
have you liked the video? Jarvis, and yes for Jarvis, yes for Stu, and yes for Bomàye.
And I didn't get any Bomàye. I didn't get any. Devastated.
Let me play the violin.
I'm going to put the very
quality, Stu, not quantity, man.
Exactly. You've got it, Bomàye. You've got it. I'm gonna put him in his rightful spot, the King Jarvis. Put him in the rightful spot.
Maybe that means you got his votes now. You switch sides.
That's exactly right. I've got his votes. Yeah, I was on 73%. Obviously, I don't. There might have only been 3 votes, Bomàye. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Mustafa, he wants to change his vote.
Yes, please, Mustafa. Thank you. I can't believe my mate Trev didn't vote for me. What's all that about? Crikey.
Guys, next time, vote for Stu. It's heartbreaking for him. We won't even sleep tonight.
I was almost crying.
We'll tear him apart.
Yeah, I was almost crying at one point. That's devastating. Devastated. I can't believe Trev didn't vote. That's shocking. That is.
Mustafa is voting for the dog, by the way.
Oh, Mustafa, man, that's cold. That's dirty.
It's very good. It's very good, actually. It's very good. It's not cold. It's very good. I like it. I like that. I do like that kind of rinsing. It's good. You should be able to come in here and rinse us all day long, all you like. So thank you very much for all your questions, as always. We'll be back Thursday, won't we, Jarvis?
Yes, there's a game on Thursday. Yeah,
because I won't be around Wednesday because I'll be kicking the ball around.
I will see. Maybe I will do a show on Wednesday. I don't know. I have to see if I have the time to do a deep dive on Real Sociedad. But I have to do it alone if Bomàye can't jump on, or Noradin, or we'll see.
There you go.
Guys,
Let me just bring this up.
Just press the bell and you will get a notification. We are on 49 likes. If you haven't liked, you have to like, so we get a round and an even number 50. So yeah, it is what it is. But it's been a great show. I enjoyed it. Great chat from the English Tacticals, Stu, Bomàye. You know, we could sit here for hours and talk. It was like a free-flowing show today. Nothing planned. There was not much news, and I didn't want to rip out on yesterday's game and bomb us all out. You know, it was like more of a therapy session for you guys, so we could feel better. So yeah.
I'm just saying, even you'd lose to Arwin, Jarvis. Not saying something. Forget us, vote for Arwin. Boxing Straight Talk comes in, whether it's a team game panel. You're absolutely right, pal. I feel much better.
Yeah. I so do I. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and press that bell. You will get the notification next time we go live. I am sometimes impulsive, so I might just jump on and do a show. So it's important that you press that bell and press for all. I don't do a show every day, so you won't get swamped with the notifications from this channel. Perfect. It's time for bed. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and we will see you on the next. Bye-bye.
Good night, all.